Welcome back to this third lecture in English 3. In the previous lecture, I had started this very important key topic in English 3, that is 7 C's of effective communication. If you remember, I could only talk about 3 attributes, 3 qualities of effective communication. And in today's lecture, I'm going to discuss the remaining 4. So today's session is going to be continuation of the same topic and its completion. First of all, let's once again look at 7 C's. Now let me here repeat what we mean by 7 C's. These are 7 attributes, qualities or components of communication which make communication successful. And since all these attributes of communication start with the alphabet C, they are called 7 C's. And these are courtesy, clarity, conciseness, concreteness, correctness, consideration and completion. So in the previous session, I talked in detail about the first 3 aspects of communication: courtesy, clarity and conciseness. So today I'll be moving on and discuss the remaining 4. Let's start with concreteness. The 4th aspect, component, quality or attribute of effective communication is concreteness. That your communication should be concrete, which means the speaker should talk specifically about the idea that he wants to convey to the audience, instead of talking indirectly about the idea. He should make it very easy for the audience to grasp the point, because if he talks specifically, it will not cause confusion in the mind of the audience. It will not allow them to speculate and guess the idea on their own. See, this is what we experience in everyday life. If you simply talk vague, unclear, people will start guessing what you mean, and through these guesses they might not be able to understand the actual idea that you want them to understand. So a good speaker does not leave his audience speculating, trying to grasp the idea through guess. Rather, he provides the required information himself and makes his audience understand those ideas very well. And this is quite commonsensical that vagueness leads to understanding and misinterpretation. Now, misunderstanding here means if you do not talk direct and specific, your audience are going to misunderstand your discussion, and the direct result of their misunderstanding is misinterpretation. Once they will go somewhere else, or discuss the same idea with somebody on the basis of misunderstanding which your communication caused, they will not be able to convey the idea correctly, because as I said in my previous discussion, clarity in your communication can only be achieved if you have sound understanding of the subject. Since your audience have not understood your ideas very well, it is very likely that they will be distorting the idea further on the basis of their own misunderstanding. See, in the first place, the speaker was unable to convey the idea very uh, correctly and specifically, and further, the audience, once it comes to their communication, they will add to this vagueness. So once this vagueness is multiplied, it will you know distort the idea and cause more confusion. So as a speaker, it is your responsibility to be very relevant, and instead of allowing your audience to guess your idea, convey the idea directly by yourself. The next essential attribute of effective communication is correctness. Now correctness actually involves correctness of grammar, correctness of spelling, and correctness of pronunciation. So all these types of correctness, if they are found in your communication will be effective. So first of all, you should understand that the significance and importance of grammar cannot be undermined and ignored, because meaning depends a lot on structures of language, how we formulate our statement, how we how we arrange different components of our speech. See, let me here give you an example. He plays cricket is a simple sentence, but the meaning that you have understood from this statement depends on the arrangement of these three words. He plays cricket, subject, verb, object. But if I change this sequence, this arrangement with the same three words, the sentence, the statement will be meaningless. For instance, plays cricket he. This is not a meaningful sentence. I have just changed the structure of the sentence, how the sentence is constructed, how it is built. So it means that grammar plays a vital role in conveyance of our meaning, and that is why you must be conscious of correctness of your grammatical structures if you do not want the audience to misunderstand your discussion. Similarly, even correctness of spelling, especially in written communication, is important, because if you misspell a word, it will not convey its meaning, because the audience will be confused about what kind of word you have used. For instance, if you look at the screen and take the example of the very word spelling, if I remove this third alphabet E from this word and make it SPLLING, you will not be able to understand exactly the word I'm using. Although in this context, in connection with grammar and pronunciation, a reader might be able to guess the correct word, but most of the time the people will be confused because there are similar words in English language. For instance, if I add I instead of E, it becomes another meaningful word, that is spelling. Now, a speaker's responsibility is to minimize the possibility and room for confusion. So that is why you do not construct riddles for your listeners. Your purpose is to help them understand this idea, because the idea that you want to communicate with them is the most important thing. It is the purpose of your communication. It is the only underlying objective of all your effort. So instead of being careless about your spellings, you should be consciously revising your presentation, let's say, or letter, or anything that you have written down, and correct it. Make sure that the spellings are correct. And the third is pronunciation. In our context, since you are trying to learn a second language, English is your second language. It is not your native language. Native language is the language of your first language, your mother tongue. And when you start speaking a second language, pronunciation is again important, because if you mispronounce a word, it can change or damage the meaning of your statement. And when speakers of one language start learning another language, there are many chances that they will not be able to pronounce these words the way the native speakers of that language can. So you have to ensure the maximum correction of your pronunciation, and that is why we have many resources available to consult them and improve your pronunciation. Like we have digital dictionaries, online dictionaries, and then we have printed dictionaries. So you can consult any of these in order to ensure the correction of your pronunciation. And pronunciation, as I said earlier, if you're not able to pronounce a word correctly, it will cause misunderstanding. For instance, let me here give you a quick example. There is a word park in English language with the letter P, as in parking. Now in in the same language, we have another word that starts with the letter B, bark. So we have two words here, park that starts with P and bark that starts with B. Now just to make it interesting for you, and this is just a joke, Arabic people of Arab cannot pronounce the sound P, because there is no such sound in Arabic alphabet. So what they do is they replace the sound P with B. For instance, they do not say Pakistan, they say Pakistan. Similarly, there are other sounds which are not found in Arabic, like sound ch is not found in Arabic, so they replace it with sh. Now this is a joke that an Arab was, you know, went to a European country, and he could speak English to some extent to communicate with people, but his English was not that good, obviously. So once he was about to park his car in a parking area, and there was this constable standing by, and since the Arab was unfamiliar about the place and he did not know where it was legal to park his car, so he talked to that constable and said, look at the sentence that he spoke. He said, where should I bark? Instead of speaking park, he replaced the sound p with b and said, where should I bark? And obviously the meaning is totally changed. And I mean, obviously the constable, relying on the very words coming out of the Arab's mouth, replied in a joking manner, anywhere you want. See, this becomes a joke, and how the meaning actually changes. So that is why it is very important, it is compulsory for a good speaker to ensure the correction of his grammar, spelling and pronunciation, to reduce any possibility of confusion and misunderstanding on the part of the audience. The next aspect of effective communication is consideration. Now, consideration means that you should consider the background, education, worldview and beliefs of your listeners. You should have all these things in mind, what kind of people you are going to speak to, because if you know all these things, you will be able to communicate your ideas the way they can easily understand. See, for instance, if your audience are from a village, or their education is simply minimal, they are not very literate, they are not very qualified, they are not degree holders. So what you can do is you can modify your medium of expression and then change your contents according to their background and education. Obviously you will opt to use more simple language and the language that they can easily understand. So instead of using high-fi vocabulary or scholarly terms with them, you will opt for simple language and simple terms, because the purpose is not to establish yourself as a scholar. The purpose is to communicate your ideas with them so that they may benefit from your knowledge, from your discussion. And similarly, if you have this essential information about your audience, you can build on their prior knowledge. What they already know can become a stepping stone for you to convey your ideas on the basis of their previous knowledge. So instead of talking about things without having basic knowledge about your audience, if you have this sort of information about them, it makes the task of communication easier for you. The last, seventh aspect of effective communication is completion. As the word itself indicates, your information should be complete. The topic that you are addressing you must provide all key points for the audience. So it should be a comprehensive discussion covering all essential aspects of the topic, because if you do not provide complete information and you simply talk about a few things and leave out others, this is again going to cause confusion. Now, this completion can be measured by satisfaction of your audience, and as a good speaker you should be able to judge your audience from their facial expressions, that whether they are satisfied with your discussion or they want more. So by looking at their faces, you can analyze if they are confused about something. So as a speaker you can improvise things in order to address a certain confusion brewing in the mind of your audiences. So these are the 7 C's of communication, and I have discussed them in detail. I hope you will go through these 7 aspects of effective communication one by one, revise them, develop sound understanding of these concepts, and if you have any confusion you can reach out to me and I'll address your questions and confusions. So thank you very much. See you in the next lecture.